Grouping helps you categorize tasks, resources, or assignments. When you group items, the summary rows for each group roll up values for all the items below. For example, if you group tasks by the teams that do the work, you can see how much you're spending on labor for employees, contractors, and third-party vendors. So to apply a group, go to the View tab, and then choose the down arrow in the Group box. In this case, I'm going to group by resource. And now you can see that there's a group for each resource in the project. These summary rows with the yellow highlighting show the different resources in the project, and underneath you see the tasks that resource is assigned to. I'm going to apply the cost table. And here you can see, with the cost table applied, I can see how much I'm spending on the different resources in this project. Actually, the Office Manager is a good example. You can see that the Office Manager, all the different assignments the Office Manager has, totals up to $38,640. Now, if you want to apply a group and you don't see it in this drop-down menu, you can go to More Groups. And that opens the More Groups dialog box, and you can choose whatever group you want and click Apply to see that group. If you want to get rid of the group, just click the down arrow and choose No Group at the very top. And now you're back to the ungrouped list. You can also set up a multi-level group. So for example, if you want to crash tasks to shorten the schedule, you want the tasks on the critical path, and you also want the longest durations. You can actually apply 2 levels of groups. So in this case, we're going to start by grouping by critical, which I'm going to go to the More Groups dialog box, choose critical, and click Apply. And now you can see critical no. And if I drag down to the bottom, there are a few tasks that are critical yes. So those are the tasks that are critical and I want to look at for crashing. Well, I also want to group by duration. I'm actually going to go and change the table. I'm going to go back to the summary table so I can see the duration. Get back down to the bottom of the list and look at my critical tasks. So now, to create this group, go back into the More Groups dialog box, and in this case, I'm going to copy the critical group. I'm going to put in a new name. It's going to be critical duration. And I've already got the group by critical because we copied the critical group in the first place, but now I want to group by duration. In this case, we want descending order because we want the duration to be longest to shortest. Now, one of the things about grouping by duration is if you think about it, tasks can come in all sorts of durations. And initially, a group is set up to do distinct values. So you'd end up with just lots and lots of different groups for duration. Well, the solution to that is to define intervals. And to do that, you click the Define Group Intervals button. You can see the group on is set to each value, and that's where you're going to get all those different groups. Well, you don't really want that, so you click the down arrow. In this case, I'm going to group on weeks. The Start At box tells you where you're going to start. So in this case, I'm going to start at 1, and that says that the first group is going to be anything less than 1 week. The group interval says how long the interval is. So in this case, I want 2-week intervals, so I change that to 2. Click OK and save the group. So now I've got this critical duration group ready, and when I click Apply, you can see I've got the top level group of the critical no and critical yes. If I go down to the bottom, you see that there are actually 2 groups for critical yes. And the one is the duration group of -1 week to 1 week shows anything less than 1 week. And then the next group is 1 to 3 weeks. So you've got the 2 weeks interval. Grouping project information comes in handy in all sorts of ways while you're planning and managing your project. In addition, a group rolls up the values of the items within it so you can see totals like cost or work.